Welcome back, Helldivers. That is right. Today is launch day for Redacted Regiment, and not only have we tested everything, but we have a bunch of tips and tricks to help you be successful and use your kit and your loadouts to the full ability. So let's dive in. So hopefully by now some of you gotten your hands on Redacted Regiment and got to try out all the awesome items that are in this Warbond, because I have to say, friends, Arrowhead really cooked with this one. So not only do we get, an awesome new primary with the sensor, and the AR is pretty good too, but we have new good stratagems like the C4, and then like the throwable, which is a great item out there. You just chuck that out there, lure them in, and blow them up with the lure mine. I've been having a lot of fun with this Warbond, and I have to say, hey, whatever you guys did to really rework the suppression system and the detection system for the overall stealth, you did a great job, because now, with the right armor combo and the right stratagems, I'm kind of going undetected on Super Helldive, and it's opening up a whole new level of play for me. The first thing that we have to cover is regarding the stealth in this game. Now, friends, there's a good way about doing this, and, a bad way about doing this. Now, the good way is going to be making sure that as you infiltrate, you are still trying to go a bit quiet, and you're quickly dispatching the enemies around you. And as you can see, hey, with the suppressor on your gun, you could take a guy out, and the guy next to him or the guy across is not going to detect you. So keep moving around and knock out those enemies. But I've also heard from many of you that you are struggling with the new commando style missions. Well, friends, here's proof that we completed the full operation on Super Helldive. But also, hey, here is a tip. You gotta use the stealth armor, or at least have one of the people on your team using the stealth armor that's doing some of the main objectives. Otherwise, you're gonna be detected like crazy. You're not gonna be able to use your camera to take those photos. You're not gonna be able to sneak in to steal out the intel for the key cards. And you're not gonna be able to get the black boxes. So be sure again, hey, that you are hiding in the trees. You are taking cover. You are, using the other members on your team to kind of pull aggro. Or if you're going solo, you're just trying to be quiet, you're dispatching enemies, and you're having a bit of trigger discipline. You're not trying to shoot everything under the sun, but you're only going after the people that are going to be targeting you. And if you do need to break line of sight, friends, I have to say, bring the smoke grenades or bring like a smoke screen with you that can help. I know with the commando missions, you can be locked down and not have your call-ins. So having the smoke grenades is really, really going to help you survive in this one, because not only can you break the line of sight, but with the, reduced detection on the new armor, you could get away from enemies very, very quickly and then get around them, and they'll have no idea that you were even there to begin with. So that's just a useful trick to try out for yourself. Next, we're going to talk about weapons, and I have to say the standout star in this Warbond is definitely going to be the sensor. Now, this rifle is a marksman rifle, and it slaps. Not only is it super precise, but it can take out men from across the map up close, hitting them in the weak spots. And you can do a lot of bullets on an enemy before they really detect you, and I really appreciate that. I was kind of wary with using this thing, because I'm like, oh, there's not like that many bullets in the clip, and if it isn't too powerful, what am I going to do? But as you can see over here, I'm cutting down chaff easy with one shot. We're doing headshots on Devastators, and we're taking them out. We're taking out anything medium, like armor level and down. It's just a breeze, and honestly, I've been loving this gun. And when you do it in conjunction with, let's say, the smoke bombs and the right armor, you can weave in and out of the enemy, and they're going to lose their detection pattern on you. So, hey, if you need to reload, throw out the smoke screens, reload, and they won't be able to see you. You get more headshots, you clear out the enemy, and bam, you're all mopped up. Next, we're going to talk about the AR-59, and this new rifle is a little bit middle of the road for me. It will perform better when you get the drum magazine and you fix the ergonomics a little bit. But I do have to say, I wish this had a little bit more ammo in its base form, as well as a slightly larger amount of stopping power and damage. Because, hey, if you are precise with your shots, you could clean up those medium armor dudes. So you can see me taking out the chainsaw guys and the small chaff. But when they come in hordes, you'll struggle a little bit, and you're going to have to back off a lot, again, using smoke screens or whatever to get out of there very quickly so you could reload. But hey, precision is your friend for sure, but this thing is not meant to be mowing down enemies like crazy. So friends, I would suggest probably using this gun in ADS rather than hipfire if you want to make sure that each bullet counts. But again, this one is a little bit more middle of the road for me, but if you like using it, all the power to you. Then on to the Re-educator caustic pistol. Now, this is an interesting one because it isn't going to insta-melt enemies, But if you put a couple shots on the small guys, the medium guys, you'll burn through them pretty quickly. But an interesting tactic that you could use with this is that you could plug an enemy or several enemies at once within a group. They get very confused. They'll start attacking each other. They don't know what to do, and they'll spin around, maybe just kind of be very confused and befuddled until they die, or, you at least drop down their health a lot. But if you're lucky and you're up close, you can actually do some really good damage with this, even against Hulk. So I've been testing this one out, and I have been able to work through the faceplates of a Hulk. So continuously fire in the same holes that you're making from the first darts going through, and you'll be able to break through that heavy armor and take him out. One interesting thing that we did notice is that when I was out of detection range and firing this gun, I was able to shoot at enemies like this War Strider without him firing back at all, and that's pretty useful, I would say. Next, we're going to have to talk about the throwables, because you've already heard me talk about the smokescreen in conjunction with the different armor sets and the weapons and how good it could be. Well, what about the lore mine? Well, to use this best, you're going to actually use it in two different ways. So you could use this thing as a trap, and you throw it out on the battlefield, and all the men get attracted to it. Then you're going to want to hide. Don't stand out in the open, because they'll still kind of target you as well. But if you are hidden, they'll go to it, they'll be shooting near or at the bomb directly, and then they'll either step on it or melee it, and then they explode. Now, that's going to take out most of the smaller enemies, but something like the Hulk and bigger, you're going to want to put down several different mines in the same area, or at least one and then spread out with another one, because Hulks typically take two to kill them. Other interesting things that you can do is that you could throw this onto the side of a building, you can put it on the side of a bunker, and it will attract all the men to start firing at that, and if you're lucky, they can destroy things for you, or it'll just pull their attention. There is an interesting thing going around on Reddit where someone put it on the back side of a factory strider, and it's forever spinning, not knowing what to do, because it's just trying to detect it. The other interesting thing that you can do with the lore mine is actually use it as an impact grenade. Yes, you did hear that right. So if you are having elevation, or you can just throw it out like a disc and have it land directly on someone, it's going to explode immediately. So you can see over here, I'm standing above these guys, and I throw it down on the group. It explodes right away, taking them out. And then even on the factory strider's neck, it was exposed and a little bit damaged, and I threw down the mine on it, and we got the kill. It did take me out with it, but we got the kill on the factory strider, and that's what counts. All right, the last thing that I definitely have to talk to you about from like a weapons perspective is going to be the C4 stratagem. This thing is a beast. It's my favorite thing about the Redacted Regiment overall Warbond. Now, this thing is a backpack, so you're going to have to use it as such, but you can't have that down and then another heavy weapon, let's say like an epoch or something like that, because you'll drop your controller from your hand and not be able to hold onto either or. So you have to make the decisions on the battlefield, but honestly, it does enough damage to justify its use. So you could use this in several ways. You could throw it out as a sticky onto enemies, and then you can quickly go to detonate it right away and just taking out anything that's in your path. You can get anything from the small guys to Hulks. You can even take out factory striders if you throw it on the stomach on its weak spot and hit detonate. It will destroy factory striders as well. We've tested out even getting through the shields of the harvesters on the Illuminate. Because it's physical, it can pass through the shield as long as it doesn't get slightly deflected from the force. And you'll one-shot the harvesters. It's pretty nice. And even those annoying flesh mobs, they will get obliterated. But aside from solo targeting, you can throw them out in an area and you can just do some devastating damage, taking out an entire group. Or again, friends, if you want to go for a bit more of a stealthy approach, sneak in, dispatch the enemies with like your sensor or another suppressed weapon, throw out the bombs strategically as you want them to, then you're going to exit, and then you can detonate all the bombs that you put out at once. So all the C4 that you've placed out, detonate it in one go, and you'll have a massive explosion. It looks really cool, and honestly, it's a great way for enhancing your stealth play, so you don't always have to throw and detonate, throw and detonate, throw and detonate, although that is super fun to do. So that is just a tip for how you're going to be able to get a lot more out of the C4 on the battlefield. And honestly, if you find other ways of using it, please let me know, but I think that has to be some of the best and most creative ways to use it right now. But also, friends, you know, if you want to kind of meme things out a little bit, you can also stick this thing to your FRV vehicle, your mechs, and yes, friends, even your fellow Helldivers. So as you can see over here, this thing can be attached to your friends and they can run out into the horde and then you can detonate it. Try to get, your friends on board before you do this because they might be a little bit mad, but it's pretty funny and you get a huge explosion. But talking about huge explosions, if you put a bunch of C4 onto an FRV and then you have a buddy put on his hell bomb and then you hit the countdown, drive into a wave of enemies. You can see we only used it against this one little dude here because that's all that was in front of us. But the explosion is massive. Somehow, because of Democracy Protects, my buddy lived, but I did not. But it was hilarious to use, so I'm sure a lot of you are going to be doing the same thing on the battlefield. Well, friends, those are some quick, helpful tips and tricks, and I hopefully was able to get through that well for you, and you did enjoy it. And if so, please be sure to like, subscribe, and, use those high points because it helps the channel grow, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.